Hello, all you space engineers out there. Commander Kingfish here, and I am doing my every couple of weeks. I want to do a update on Space Engineers 2, which I think is going to be really fun to play. So, what I have up today is from Marek's Dev Diary from March 20th, from a little over a week ago, and then I've got just this last Thursday's diary we're going to go through as well, and then by the by the end we're going to hop over into the game because there are a couple of new blocks that they've released out into the game. So it's going to be kind of fun to take a look at that. So what Marek has talked about that they've been working on is they've got for vertical slice 1.2 is voxel destruction. So it is kind of basically where the destruction gun that they had that you could destroy blocks. This is now you're going to be able to destroy voxels. And there's a brief video here. I'll click on it and you can kind of watch it. It is about, 48 minutes there. And let's see. Let's go to at least 720, get a little better quality on that. And you can kind of see what it's doing. Uh, that's with the destruction gun or the destruction tool. And so literally destroying the voxels. So it might be useful when trying to carve out an underground base, maybe something like that. But I think it does look pretty cool as far as on the voxel destruction. So that's that. It's just about finished here, so we'll go ahead and just kind of pause that right there. So they're also continuing to work new and reworked sounds. So that's going to be, I think, for vertical slice 1.2. So that should be interesting. It's going to be jetpack charge up and boost, destruction of solar panels, things like that. So it's just kind of continually working on the sounds for the game itself. Something that Marek is really excited about is the target-based gyro. That's done, and it will be available in Vertical Slice 1.2. And so and there's some more videos coming up in this week's blog that we'll touch on, and you'll be able to see what he's talking about on the target-based gyro system. They've also balanced the health and damage thresholds for armor and functional blocks, non-armor blocks. They've made it more balanced. The armor should be stronger than the functional blocks, but at the same time, you want to see some damage on armor when you shoot it. So they feel like they've gotten that balanced considerably better now. So they're also working on acceleration-based camera shakes. You'll want to have a little bit of shake on the camera when you're taking off, like in your ships and stuff. They've been working on the med bay death and respawning. Basically, those are the first parts of the survival, and that they already work. So they're already in the game. They've had those ready, and so they should be good to go as they're preparing for Vertical Slice 2 when they roll out the planets and survival. So they just needed to do a little more polishing on that as well. Let's see here. First person camera mode and position. They've got that without the one unwanted offset. So I think they feel like that is done. And I think that is, let's see here. Basically what he's saying, it's no parallax effect now. So he feels that that's correct. So they've got that ready to go. And then the real exciting news from over a week ago was that starting next Thursday, or just from my point of view now, just this last Thursday, they're going to be starting with weekly updates. So these weekly updates are going to be adding new blocks, and that's what the focus will be on these weekly updates. So the idea is that it keeps adding new content flowing to the game in between their bigger vertical slices. So that should be interesting. And that's one of the things at the end of this video, I'm going to be jumping in, and there was 2 new blocks that was released just this last Thursday. So we'll take a look at those. All right, so let's scroll on up and go to just this last week's diary. And here we are, March 27th. So one of the things he talks about, and I have seen that, some of the work that the modders in the game, the players are doing, is just incredible. I could never hope to even touch anything that as good as what they're showing right here. So if we expand that out, you can kind of see some of the work that they're doing on there. Oop. So look at that detail that these engineers are doing. So let's hop back out of there. Okay, so let's see. Starting weekly updates, we talked about that. So they're working on improving the jumping animation. Uh, Marek's not happy with it right now, and so they're trying to work on whether you're jumping off your left foot or your right foot so that the animations are corresponding, and as well as for walk, run, and sprint animations. So they are working on that as well. So I think the one of the more exciting points that he brings out this week is vertical slice 1.2 is almost done. Actually, the work is frozen, so they're not doing any more updates to it. They're just doing their final rounds of testing. And so that should be rolling out fairly soon, which is going to be fun. Emotes will be coming to the game. They're talking about, I guess it's vertical slice 1.6. But really, the main motivation by bringing these emotes out is that we'll be able to play them. It'll be fun to play with those emotes, as you can see. But they want to be able to do arbitrary animations in the game, which will allow them to do some trailer productions and things like that. So that should be kind of exciting when we see those things coming out. So next up is voxel debris that he talks about, and this is just a short, real short video here. You can kind of see the debris coming off the video right there. So that's they're working on that. Consumables, they're getting that ready for survival in Vertical Slice 2. And so they've got a couple. This is just a real short video again showing. So they've got different like look like jet fuel and stuff like that. So they're getting the consumables ready to go so that that will be for Vertical Slice 2 when survival rolls out. So let's pause that right there. They're still working on the floral rendering in the distance, and I think that looks pretty cool right there. Here's something that I thought looked pretty darn cool, and it's wind and grass. I think it's going to be really cool to have that kind of animation within the game in the survival when you're on the planets. So I'll click this on, and you can kind of see what it's doing right there. Again, that's at setting, so uh, looks looks good, doesn't it? All right. And then here we are back to the target-based gyros. And let me get to my notes here. Uh, so that's coming to Vertical Slice 1.2. As you can see, he is really excited about it. He keeps mentioning it as he says, but it's going to improve the ship piloting very much. And so if we click on here, we'll click on play. It's about a half minute video. You'll be able to watch him fly around in the ship, and it gives you. I think it's going to give you more control over. So if you watch him fly in through the ship right there, pretty much at full speed, it looked like. So again, that should be really cool stuff. And so let's go ahead and pause that. And let's go on here. He's piloting Big Red. So this should be interesting. You can kind of see right there the gyro on it where it's kind of centered. And I think the idea is it's going to help keep the ship level. Again, this is coming to Vertical Slice 1.2. As I mentioned, that is in the final testing. It's actually frozen, so there's no more updates to be done on Vertical Slice 1.2. They're just getting all the testing done with that. And so let's do that. And then finally, we've got the off-center camera. So if we click this on, you can kind of see where you've got an off-center. So instead of where you're not just looking directly behind your engineer when you're in, I guess, like third person and stuff like that. Again, that's coming to Vertical Slice 1.2. All right. The other cool thing that Marek talks about is they're prototyping some new kinds of detail where, like he says, the 25 centimeter armor blocks are great. They make good structures, but they feel a bit blocky. And I would agree with that. So it looks like what they're doing is you can kind of see some of the modular blocks, the pipes, and I think that's really cool. That's really going to give you some opportunity to add some interest and detail to your base builds and to your ship builds on the interior. Also, it looks like they've got some modular structural support type blocks. So all of that will really, I think, help you to be able to detail out the insides of your ship and your bases and stuff. And finally, as we're getting down here to the end, we've got some new foliage, which will add a lot more to the survival worlds. And that's going to be kind of fun to see some of this new foliage. And finally, subsurface scattering of the floral. So let's click this on and we can kind of see what it's doing here. So you can kind of see the light detail on that. All right. So that's everything that Marek has to talk about on his dev diaries over the last couple of weeks. I think at this point it's time to hop into the game. And once I'm over and in there, we can take a look at those two new blocks. We won't be over there in there for very long. It's basically to show you the two new blocks that have come out and that what I've kind of done with them. Again, I'm no engineer for sure, but some of the modders out there can really be able to use this very effectively. So I'll see you over in the game in just a few minutes. Okay, here we are over here into Space Engineers 2, and I'm on the startup screen. So let's go ahead and click continue. And that's going to get us in. One of the things I like about this, it seems to load much faster than Space Engineers 1 did. There was that big, long load up screen. So here we are. We're already in it, in that abomination of a ship. I got some ideas on what I'm going to do with this. I'm actually going to extend this out about another few blocks. And then I think that will maybe not make it look so short and dumpy looking. So, yeah, it's kind of a work in process, and the main thing I'm using it for is just to really kind of experiment and stuff like that. So, again, don't be critical of my shipbuilding because it really does suck, and I will be the first one to admit that. So now let's go over here and land on top. And let's get settled down right here. So if we go into G, the two new blocks that we have, we go to our window block, we have a half block. Now, a window half block. And we also have a new interior wall flat half. That's that one right there. So I will come back out. Now the other thing I had to do was, so if I go over to 7, that's going to bring up my R screen. Now when I had already had that in, I had to replace that by pulling it down from G, the new group. The old group didn't seem to, with it in the toolbar, didn't seem to pick up the half block. But that's the half block wall. And then if we come over here, we get to my windows, and then here's the half block window. So let's get back out of here. So you can kind of see that that's going to give you some more flexibility in working with stuff. And I haven't used the half wall too much yet, but I have used the half window a little bit. And so if we kind of drop it down here, these windows I had, or these frames that I had, now I am using the 9, the cover wall half, and I turned those on their side. They only connect on the bottom, so I had to kind of get that designed out, and then so I put those in there, so it's kind of like a portal. So now if we come over here to the other side, you can kind of see that I've put the window in there. So now you have a window, and that kind of gives you a portal looking window, and I think it looks pretty cool actually. And I've done that on both sides. I also have done that same thing up here with these windows. I had to get it all figured out. Now, one of the things I ran into a problem on this window, I couldn't just attach it straight onto the half blocks. So if we go to 7 and let's turn that, let's see if we can kind of get a spot over here. It will attach that way. If we turn it to its side, you can see that it won't attach on its side like that. It will only attach on the edges. And so what I had to do, we get back over here, I built a frame around it using the small 20, I think it's the small 25 centimeter blocks. Yeah, the quarter meter blocks. And so I built that frame around there, so that, which looks pretty good. It gives us some more detail. I could have colored that, but then it allowed me to place that window in there. So that is the 2 new blocks that we have. Let's go back up. Still a bit clunky and stuff like that, and I think that's what the vertical slice 1.2 is going to help a lot with. So again, the 2 new blocks this week, and so I'm going to be excited to see what we get this next week. And so I'm going to be doing these videos every couple of weeks until we really get a lot going on, and then I'll probably go to every week on doing some sort of video on Space Engineers 2. So I've been having some fun in it, and it's just really learning the blocks themselves. But the next video, we should have 4 different blocks to take a look at and see what has been provided. So, all right, I think that's going to about wrap this video up. Okay, well, if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up. It really does help out the video, and please subscribe. That will really help out the channel. Okay, all you space engineers out there, keep your heads low, keep building away, and don't get shot. And with that, Commander Kingfish is out of here, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.